In this video, we are going to be looking at the reward a non-Jew received for honoring his parents. In fact, this non-Jew was an idolater. So looking at Gemara Kedushin 31a in the Art Scroll, folio 2, 31a 2, in the middle of the page on the left-hand side. So they asked Rav Ulla, how far does the mitzvah of honoring one's father and mother extend? Rav Ulla answered them, go and see what one idolater did in Ashkelon, and his name was Dama, son of Nesina. It once happened that the sages wanted to buy certain merchandise from him that would give him a profit of 600,000 gold dinars, but the key to the chest that contained this merchandise was lying under his father's pillow, and his father was asleep at the time, and Dama ben Nesina did not disturb his father. The Gemara then continues and gives a more detailed account. It says the sages actually wanted to buy stones for the ephod from him. The ephod, looking at footnote 14, an apron-like garment which the Kohen Gadol would wear in the times of the Beit HaMikdash, and on his breastplate, the ephod, a precious stone was placed on top of each of the shoulder straps. Now the key to the chest that contained the precious stone was lying under his father's pillow, and his father was asleep at the time. Dama ben Nesina did not disturb his father. Now, how did Hashem reward him for this? And remember, this was a non-Jew. In fact, he was an idolater. Dama ben Nesina was an idolater. The Gemara continues. The next year, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, granted him, he gave him his reward, that a red cow, a para aduma, was born in his stable. The Chachamim of the Beit HaMikdash went to him to purchase the para aduma. Dama ben Nesina said to them, now I know that if I were to ask from you all the money in the world, you would give it to me. However, I ask from you only the amount of money that I lost as a result of honoring my father. Looking at footnote 16, Dama, son of Nesina, was a righteous Gentile, and he wished to receive his reward in the world to come, rather than in this world. Gemara then continues from this. Now, if one performs a precept without having been commanded to do so, obviously non-Jews are not commanded within the 7 Noahide laws to honor their parents. However, the Gemara says here, one who's not commanded to perform such a precept, if he goes ahead and does a good deed such as this one, how much more so, and if he's rewarded for it, as we see in this story, how much more so is a Jew who is commanded to honor his parents, how much more so will he be rewarded for following that command?
From here we can really appreciate the benevolence of Hashem and how kind He is to repay each human being for the good deeds he does, even though non-Jews, as we said, are not specifically commanded to honor their parents as such. But for this example in the Gemara shows us where one does so, he is rewarded, and in this particular case, he was rewarded in a spectacular outcome. Now, recently, somebody who is about to join our community is about to commence his conversion program. So I've been learning with him, and interestingly, he is from an idol-worshipping background. The faith he was brought up in is very much steeped in idol worship. And I sat down with him and I started going through this particular section of Gemara. And he was absolutely blown away because he has studied other religions as well. And one often sees, also he commented that, if you don't join their way, if you don't join their faith, then one is, heaven forbid, going to hell or something like this. And, there is no reward coming your way. You're living a life of evil, as it were. And here he was absolutely blown away when I showed, look, in Yiddishkeit, in Judaism, even a non-Jew who does something good is also rewarded for that act. Hashem doesn't let anybody's reward go unpaid, and he was absolutely so blown away by this concept that Hashem, even if one is not Jewish, you are still Jew, and Hashem is faithful to pay his reward to those that do good deeds, even if they are not part of Am Yisrael.
Now, from the story here, we see Dama ben Nesina was rewarded with great wealth for honoring his father and not waking him up. How can we relate this to our situation today? Now, at the time of recording, It's March 2020. The Hebrew date is actually Erev Rosh Chodesh Nisan, 29th of Adar 5780. The world is experiencing a pandemic, the likes of which we've not seen for perhaps 100 years or even longer than that. So the world is in a very perilous state at present, and as Jews, obviously, as everyone wants to be protected from such pandemics and the resultant consequences that can occur. Obviously, a lot of businesses are now in danger. The economy, all the economies around the world are in danger of falling into deep, deep recession. Who knows how long that can last, and in an extreme case, heaven forbid, there could be an economic depression. So, as Jews, what can we do to protect ourselves, or what can we do to ensure that we are as safe as possible? Now, looking at the Gemara, just building on this concept of honoring parents, the Gemara in Shabbat 127a, folio 4, looking in the art scroll. It also references the Mishnah in Peah, the opening section of the Mishnah in Peah. But I'll just read now from the Gemara in Shabbat 127a. Rav Yehuda Bar Shila said in the name of Rav Asi, who said in the name of Rav Yochanan, in the case of the following 6 precepts, a person who fulfills them, a person who does these mitzvot, enjoys their fruits in this world, as in he's rewarded in this world, be it health, long life, wealth, and other worldly comforts that we so desire. However, in fulfilling these 6 precepts, the principal reward remains intact for him to enjoy in the world to come. And this is something we read in Shachrit every morning as well. And these are the 6: Hachnasat orchim, receiving guests; Uvikor cholim, visiting the sick; Iyun tefillah, concentrating during one's prayers; Hashkamat betach midrash, rising early to attend the study or to learn Torah; Amagadel banav letalmud Torah, one who raises his children to the study of Torah; Vahadan et chavero lechav zechut, and one who judges his fellow favorably. The Gemara then continues, citing a slightly different version in the Mishnah Peah. It says, "Elu dvarim she'adam moseh otam ve'echol mi'porotehem be'olam hazeh v'hakeren kayemet le'olam haba." While the principle, these are the things a person does, and he enjoys the fruits in this world, and the principle remains intact for him in the world to come. These are as follows: Kivud av v'im, honoring mother and father; Ugemilut chasadim, bestowing kindness; Ha'avat shalom ben adam v'lachavero, bringing about peace between one person and another; V'talmud Torah kulam, and studying Torah is equal to them all combined. So we see the general idea: one fulfills these things, one gets the benefits in this world, be it long life, be it wealth, be it other things that we all yearn for in life. Now, an interesting concept, Gemilot Chasadim, acts of kindness. We see there's a theme, as we covered in a previous video, I believe. Acts of kindness, when a person looks out for another person, when a person gives tzedakah, this earns a person or arouses Hashem's mercy. And there is a Gemara which we may have covered briefly in a previous video, Gemara in Bava Batra, I think Daf Tet Amud Bet 9b. In Bava Batra it says, a person who gives tzedakah in secret pacifies heavenly anger. So at this time at present, with this pandemic going on, it looks like the world is being judged, and we are on a seesaw, and it's not clear whether the world is going to tip the right way or the wrong way, heaven forbid. There's a lot of people suffering, a lot of people fallen ill. There have been a lot of deaths, not only in the wider world, but also in the Jewish community in America and in the UK and in Israel as well. So at this moment, we really should be doing all we can to, let's say, score points, as it were, for want of a better phrase, and try and arouse Hashem's mercy. One of the ways in which we can do that is, as this Gemara says in Bava Batra, by giving tzedakah in secret, seeking out people who are in need and going in secretly without them knowing, going and helping them. There are various ways one can do this. One just needs to think a bit creatively, to think how can one can help his friend or a fellow he knows anonymously or through a shaliach or through a fund. But if one really wants to help directly, one can find a way of going and giving and helping that person directly without him knowing that it's you that's given him. May Hashem protect us all from this magifra, from this pandemic, and may we all be healed, and may we merit to see the coming of Mashiach soon, speedily in our days.